Tonight, I want to tell you something most people are too scared to say out loud. Someone is praying for you, not just thinking about you, not just missing you. I mean, begging heaven for you. And in the next 5 minutes, you're going to understand why this is happening right now, what it means spiritually, and what you must not do if you want this connection to actually reach you. Before we go deeper, hit subscribe, tap like, and comment one word, ready, because later in this video, I'm going to reveal the one hidden sign your soulmate is about to show you. And most people miss it because it looks like a coincidence. And stay with me until the end, because there's a twist. Your soulmate isn't just asking God to send them to you. They're asking God to prepare you, because something in you is still blocking love. Let me start with a short story from the Bible. There was a man named Jacob, and Jacob was not just a romantic. Jacob was a fighter. He wanted a future. He wanted purpose. He wanted love. But his life was messy. His relationships were messy. His identity was messy. And one night, Jacob was alone. No friends, no safety, no control. And he wrestled with an angel all night. Not for money, not for power, not for fame, but for a blessing, for a shift, for a new destiny. Jacob said something that hits deep if you understand love at a spiritual level. I will not let you go unless you bless me. Is not just a Bible moment. That is soulmate energy. That is the energy of someone who refuses to accept a life without the person heaven promised. And here is the verse that fits this message perfectly. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. That's Isaiah 60:22. Now listen closely, because this is the main news. Your soulmate is begging heaven to send you this news. They're waking up, they're realizing it. They're finally understanding what you meant to them. And it's not because you chased them. It's not because you proved yourself. It's not because you posted something. It's because God is touching their spirit. Let me explain it in a way that's psychological and spiritual. There are some connections that are not built only by attraction. They're built by recognition. Your nervous system recognizes them. Your spirit recognizes them. And when that kind of connection is separated, it doesn't just disappear. It becomes pressure. Pressure in the heart, pressure in the mind, pressure in the soul. That's why some people can't stop thinking about you even when they try. That's why they move on, but they still compare everyone to you. That's why they act cold, but they still watch you, because deep down, they know. And now the begging has started. Let me tell you what your soulmate is praying. They're not praying, God, give me love. They're praying, God, give me them. They're praying, God, I messed up. They're praying, God, I was scared. They're praying, God, I didn't know how to hold something real. And here's the part most people don't understand. Your soulmate may not even be a religious person, but God can still shake their spirit. God can still disturb their peace. Your name echo in their mind at night. Because God doesn't need their permission to wake them up. Now I need you to hear this, because this is going to hit someone right in the chest. Your soulmate is not just missing you. They are grieving you. They are grieving the version of their life where you were in it. And the reason they're begging heaven is because they feel something coming. They feel a shift. They feel time running out. They feel you moving forward, and that terrifies them. Psychology calls this attachment panic. When someone realizes the person they were emotionally bonded to is slipping away, their brain goes into survival mode.
Suddenly they remember everything.
Suddenly they regret everything. But spiritually, it's deeper than that. Because when God assigns someone to your destiny, even if they delay, run. Even if they deny it, their soul will eventually feel the pull. And right now, that pull is getting stronger. Let me say it plainly. Your soulmate is getting spiritually uncomfortable, and they don't know why. They can't sleep like they used to. They can't enjoy distractions like they used to. They can't connect with fake love like they used to. Because the season of pretending is ending. Now here comes the news your soulmate wants heaven to send you. They want you to know they're not over you. They want you to know they tried to replace you, but it didn't work. They want you to know they've been watching you from a distance. They want you to know they're scared you've already found someone else. They want you to know they regret the silence. They regret their pride. They regret the delay. Deeper, they're changing. Not the fake change people do to impress you. Real change. The kind of change that only happens when God breaks you down. The kind of change that happens when you finally face your own wounds. Because your soulmate is realizing something. They didn't lose you because you were too much. They lost you because they were not ready for something pure. And this is where I need you to stay very focused, because I'm about to tell you the cliffhanger I teased earlier. There is a sign coming. A sign so specific, so strange, so perfectly timed, that when it happens, you will literally pause and say, okay, that's not normal. But if you don't understand what it means, you will ignore it, and you could delay the connection even more, so stay with me. Now let's talk about the spiritual side. Sometimes God separates soulmates, not to punish you, torture you, but to prepare you. Because two unhealed people can destroy each other, even if they're meant to be. Two people with trauma can turn destiny into disaster. So God does something powerful. God puts distance. God puts silence. God puts time. And during that time, God works on both souls. And right now, God is working on them. But here's the part nobody wants to hear. God is also working on you. Because you may say you want your soulmate, but your energy has been saying something else. Your words say, I want love, but your nervous system says, love is dangerous. Your mind says, I'm ready, but your heart says, I don't trust anyone. Your mouth says, I forgive, but your spirit says, I'm still angry, and God sees it all. So what happens is this: your soulmate starts begging heaven, and heaven responds by preparing the meeting. Heaven will not deliver the gift until you stop holding the knife. And what is the knife? The knife is your defense mechanism. The knife is your fear. The knife is your pride. The knife is your I don't need anyone. The knife is your I'm fine. Because deep down, you're not fine. You're strong, but you're tired. You're independent, but you're lonely. You're mature, but you're still carrying something. And your soulmate feels that too. They feel your walls. They feel your distance. They feel your protection, and it makes them hesitate. So they pray. They pray for courage. They pray for timing. They pray for the right moment. They pray, God, soften their hearts. And you might be thinking, how do you know this? Because the pattern is spiritual law. When two souls are connected by assignment, the separation always creates a spiritual bond. Echo. One soul starts awakening first, then the other. And right now, your soulmate is waking up. They're realizing the truth. And the truth is this: they never felt safe with anyone the way they felt safe with you. But because they didn't know how to handle safe love, they ran. That's what trauma does. Trauma doesn't run from danger. Trauma runs from peace. Trauma runs from consistency. Trauma runs from commitment. Trauma runs from someone who actually sees you. Because being seen feels like being exposed. So they left, or they pulled back, or they ghosted, or they got confused, or they acted like they didn't care. But now, God is dealing with them. God is making them face what they avoided. And here's what's crazy. They're starting to realize that losing you was not just losing a person. It was losing a calling. Because sometimes your soulmate is not just your lover. They are your mirror. They are your catalyst. They are your partner on purpose. And your soulmate is starting to feel that. They're thinking about your voice, your laugh, the way you looked at them, the way you believed in them, the way you made them feel like they could be better. And that's haunting them. Not in a toxic way, in a holy way. Because God uses love to awaken people. Now let's talk about the message itself. Your soulmate is begging heaven to send you this news. I'm coming back, but not the old version of them. A new version, a humbled version, a healed version, a ready version. And the reason they haven't reached out yet is because they're afraid. They're afraid you'll reject them. They're afraid you'll be cold. They're afraid you'll say you had your chance. And honestly, they deserve that fear. Delay. But here's the deeper truth. They are not just afraid of your rejection, they are afraid of your power, because they can feel that you've changed too. They can feel you're not the same person who waited. They can feel you're not the same person who begged. They can feel you're not the same person who gave them unlimited access. You've matured. You've healed in silence. You've cried and kept moving. And now, you're dangerous. Not dangerous like toxic. Dangerous like you won't tolerate nonsense anymore. So they're praying, God, please open the door again. Now let me give you the sign I promised. This is the hidden sign your soulmate is about to show you. They will reach out in a way that seems casual. It will not start with I miss you. It will not start with I love you. It will not start with I'm sorry. It will start with something small. Something like, hey, I saw something that reminded me of you. Or, I don't know why, but you came to my mind. I hope you're doing okay. And you might think that's weak, but spiritually that's huge. Because that is them testing the waters. That is them checking if your energy is still open. That is them trying to re-enter without getting destroyed. Cliffhanger part. The message will come right after you decide to let go. Right after you stop obsessing. Right after you stop checking. Right after you stop waiting. Because the moment you release, the spiritual cord relaxes, and they feel you again. It's like your soul finally exhales, and their soul says, oh no, they're really moving on. And that's when the begging becomes real. Now listen, I need to protect you, because not everyone who comes back is your soulmate. Some people come back because they miss access. Some people come back because they're lonely. Some people come back because nobody else tolerated them. So how do you know this is real? You will see fruit. Not words, not promises, not emotional speeches. Fruit. Consistency, effort, respect, patience, accountability. Won't just want you, ever. They will honor you, ever. They will build. They will stop playing. Now I want to speak to the person who has been hurt. Because I feel it. Some of you are watching this and thinking, but what if they don't come? What if I'm just hoping? What if I'm just lonely? No, this message is not for everyone. This message is for the one who has felt it in their spirit. You didn't just like them. You recognized them. You dreamed about them. You felt them randomly. You sensed them. And even when you tried to forget, something kept pulling you back. That's not an obsession. That's the connection. But connection without boundaries becomes bondage. So here's what God wants you to do while your soulmate is praying. Stop chasing. Stop forcing. Stop overthinking. Stop trying to control the timing. Because if it's from God, you won't have to manipulate it. If it's from God, you won't have to beg. If it's from God, you won't have to shrink. You will be chosen properly. And that's the biggest news. Your soulmate is begging heaven to send you this news. They are ready to choose you correctly, not secretly, not halfway, not when it's convenient, not when they feel like it. Correctly, with clarity, with intention, with honor. Now let's go even deeper, because there's another layer. Sometimes your soulmate is not physically near you. Sometimes they are in another city, another country, another season of life, and yet they feel you and you feel them. This is where spirituality and psychology meet, because the brain is not the only thing that bonds. The spirit bonds too, and when your spirit bonds, distance doesn't erase it. Silence doesn't erase it, it just makes it louder. That's why you've been seeing repeating numbers. That's why you've been having random dreams. That's why songs keep playing that remind you of them. That's why you keep hearing their name. And you might be thinking, am I going crazy? No, you're waking up, and they are waking up too. And this is why heaven is involved, because this is not just romance. This is alignment. This is destiny. This is two people being pulled into the same timeline. Now let me speak directly to you. Your soulmate is not begging heaven because you're perfect. They're begging heaven because you are real. You are rare. And they know it now. They know your love was not common. They know your loyalty was not normal. They know your patience was not cheap. And they know they may never find it again. Realization is a spiritual awakening. And it hurts. It hurts to realize you fumbled something holy. So they pray. And heaven listens. But heaven also tests. Because God doesn't reunite people to repeat the same pain. God reunites people to create something new. So here's what you must do. Don't rush. When they come back, don't throw yourself at them. Don't punish them either. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay discerning. Because the way you respond will determine the next chapter. If you respond from wounds, you create war. If you respond from healing, you create peace. And this is what God is preparing. A love that feels safe, a love that feels clear, a love that feels mature. Now I want to give you one final revelation. Your soulmate is begging heaven to send you this news, but heaven might send the news through you first. Might feel a sudden peace, a sudden release. Suddenly, I'm okay either way, and that is the sign you're ready. Because when you are no longer desperate, you are aligned. When you are no longer anxious, you are magnetic. When you are no longer trying to control, you become receptive. And that's when God moves. So if you've been feeling calmer lately, if you've been sleeping better, if you've been smiling again, if you've been focusing on yourself, that's not you giving up. That's you being prepared. And that preparation is triggering them because they can feel you slipping out of their grasp. So they pray harder. They beg heaven harder. They say, God, please, give me one more chance. Now let me close this with something powerful. You don't need to chase a person who is assigned to you. You need to become the version of yourself that can hold the assignment. Because love is not just about finding someone. Love is about being ready when God delivers them. So tonight, here is your message. Your soulmate is waking up. Your soulmate is praying. Your soulmate is regretting. Your soulmate is preparing. And heaven is arranging the timing. But you must stay steady. You must stay wise. You must stay open, but not naive. Because the reunion will not be loud. It will be quiet. It will start small. It will start with a message, a simple message. But behind that message is a soul that has been wrestling all night. Just like Jacob, wrestling with fear, wrestling with pride, wrestling with timing, wrestling with God. And now they're saying, I will not let this go unless it blesses me. So if you feel this message, if it's hitting you in a deep place, comment ready. Want the next part? The part where I tell you the exact spiritual test that happens right before soulmates reunite. Make sure you're subscribed, because the next video will explain the one thing God will ask of you. And if you fail it, you delay the blessing. But if you pass it, you step into the love that was written for you. And let me add something even more important, because some of you are thinking, okay, but why now? Why after all this time? Why after the silence? Why after the pain? Because God doesn't move when you are desperate. God moves when you are developed. And right now, something has shifted in the spirit. Your soulmate is not just thinking about you. They are being convicted about you. They are replaying moments they used to ignore. They are remembering words you said that they didn't understand back then. Making them uncomfortable. Because they finally realize you were not just another person. You were an answered prayer that they mishandled. And I need you to catch this part. Your soulmate is begging heaven to send you this news. I see you now. Not the old you. Not the version of you who was trying to prove yourself. The new you. They healed you. They focused you. The peaceful you. The version of you that doesn't chase anymore. And that version of you is the most magnetic thing in the world. Now, if this is resonating with you, pause for 1 second and comment, they feel me. Because I want to know who is really tapped into this message. Now listen closely. There's a spiritual reason they can't forget you. And I'm going to say it plainly. God does not allow your soulmate to feel peace in fake connections. That's why they can date other people and still feel empty. That's why they can laugh with friends and still feel lonely. That's why they can succeed and still feel like something is missing. Because when God marks someone for you, their soul becomes allergic to substitutes. And I know that sounds intense, but it's real, and it's happening. So let me give you the second Bible verse line that fits this perfectly. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. That's Psalm 37, verse 4. And the reason I'm using that verse is because your soulmate is not the prize. God is. Your soulmate is the gift. And when your heart is aligned with God, God aligns your love life too. Now let's get even more dynamic, because I want to speak to the part of you that still doubts. The part of you that says, but what if I'm just making this up? No, let me tell you what's really happening. You are feeling the spiritual tug, and the tug is not anxiety, it's not an obsession, it's not you being weak. It's your spirit picking up on movement in their spirit. Because when someone prays for you intensely, your soul can feel it. You may not know it's them, you may not have proof, but you can feel the pressure. You can feel the shift. That's why you've been randomly thinking of them lately. That's why your heart has been acting strange. That's why you've been feeling emotional for no reason. I feel the shift. Now here's the part that will protect you. Not every return is a reunion. Sometimes God allows someone to come back, just so you can finally close the door properly. Sometimes the message they send is not a love letter. Sometimes it's a test of your boundaries, a test of your standards, a test of your self-respect. Because God is not trying to give you a relationship. God is trying to give you a healthy love, and healthy love requires discernment. So when they come back, don't ignore your intuition. If they come back with excuses, that's not your soulmate healed. If they come back with confusion, that's not your soulmate ready. If they come back with mixed signals, that's not heaven's timing. Because heaven is not unclear. God is not the author of confusion. So when this is real, it will feel calm, chaotic. It will feel clear, not confusing. Now I want to speak directly to the person who has been waiting. You've been trying to be patient. You've been trying to trust God. You've been trying not to break down. But some nights you cried. Some nights you questioned everything. Some nights you said, God, did I imagine this connection? And God stayed silent. But silence doesn't mean absence. Silence means God is working behind the scenes. And the proof is this: your soulmate is praying, and you didn't even ask them to. Your soulmate is regretting, and you didn't even remind them. Your soulmate is waking up, and you didn't even chase them. That's God. Now, if you believe God is working behind the scenes, comment, God is moving. Because I want this comment section to become a prayer wall. Now here comes a deeper truth. Begging heaven. But heaven is also testing their heart. Because they can't come back the same. They can't return with ego. They can't return with control. They can't return with pride. Because you are not the same person anymore. You've outgrown the version of love that hurt you. So their spirit is being humbled, and humility is painful. It's painful to admit you were wrong. It's painful to admit you were scared. It's painful to admit you pushed away something good. But that pain is necessary, because a person who doesn't heal will repeat the same destruction. So if you've been seeing signs of them becoming more mature lately, comment, they're changing. Now let me give you a key phrase that will guide your spirit. Write this down mentally. God never delays what you're ready to sustain. Let me say it again. God never delays what you're ready to sustain. It feels delayed. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Now here's the part that might surprise you. Your soulmate may have already tried to reach out, but they stopped themselves. They typed the message, then deleted it. They looked at your profile, then closed it. They wanted to call, then got scared. Why? Because they are fighting themselves. And this is why the title is true. Your soulmate is begging heaven to send you this news, because they don't trust themselves enough to send it directly yet. So they ask God for a sign. They ask God for courage. They ask God to soften you. They ask God to open a door. And if you want to know how I know, because when soulmates awaken, they become spiritual, even if they never were before. Because love is one of the biggest ways God gets people's attention. Now I'm going to speak prophetically for A. There is a message coming, and it will happen when you least expect it. Not when you're sitting there waiting. Not when you're crying. Not when you're stalking their page. It will happen when you are busy, when you are focused, when you are building, and you will look at your phone, and your heart will drop. Because it will be them, and it will be simple, but it will carry weight. And you will know, this is the moment heaven has been preparing. Now here's what I need you to do. Do not respond from fear. Do not respond too fast. Do not respond too coldly. Do not respond too emotionally. Respond with wisdom, because your response will set the tone, and the tone will decide if this becomes a reunion or another cycle. So if you're ready to respond with wisdom when they come back, comment. Wisdom. Now let's close this continuation with something powerful. Your soulmate is begging heaven, but heaven is not just listening to them. Heaven is watching you, watching how you heal, watching how you grow, watching how you forgive, watching how you stay soft without being foolish. And I want you to remember this. The right love will never require you to lose yourself. The right love will never require you to beg. The right love will meet you with effort. So as your soulmate prays, you keep becoming. You keep growing. You keep shining. You keep building your life. And if this message is for you, if you feel it deep, comment this final phrase. Heaven align us, because something is happening. And it's bigger than emotion. It's bigger than timing. It's bigger than distance. It's destiny. And let me take you even deeper. Now, some of you are feeling something you can't explain. You're not even talking to them. You're not even seeing them. But your spirit keeps whispering, something is about to happen. That's not your imagination. That's spiritual anticipation. Because when God is about to reunite two people, He does something first. He starts clearing the noise. He removes distractions. He removes counterfeit connections. He removes emotional clutter. And suddenly, you feel this strange quiet inside. Like you're standing in a hallway and you can hear footsteps coming. If you've been feeling that quiet lately, comment, I feel the footsteps. Now listen carefully. Your soulmate is begging heaven to send you this news, but heaven is also teaching them a lesson. And the lesson is this: you don't get to mishandle someone God sent and then return like nothing happened. Is happening in their life right now? Pressure. Not because God hates them, because God is shaping them. Some of them are losing sleep. Some of them are losing friendships. Some of them are losing the confidence they used to hide behind. And they don't understand why everything feels heavy. But spiritually, it's simple. God is removing the ego. God is breaking the pride. God is teaching them how to value what they almost lost. So if you feel like they're going through something right now, comment. God is humbling them. Now, I want to speak to the person who keeps blaming themselves, because I know you. You replay the conversations. You replay the mistakes. You replay the moments where you wish you said something different. And you wonder, was it my fault? Let me free you right now. If someone is truly your soulmate, you didn't ruin it. Revealed what needed healing. Soulmates don't break because of one argument. Soulmates don't end because of one misunderstanding. They separate because something in one or both people is still unhealed. And God refuses to let love become a weapon. So if you've been carrying guilt, comment, I release the guilt. Now here's a truth that's going to hit hard. Some of you have been praying, God, send me my soulmate. But God has been waiting for you to stop entertaining the wrong people, because heaven will not send the real thing into a space that's still crowded with counterfeits. And yes, That includes emotional counterfeits. That person you text when you're lonely, that situationship you keep revisiting, that ex you keep checking on, that attention you keep accepting. Because deep down, it's not love, it's a bandage. So if you're ready to clear your space, comment, "I'm making room." Now let me give you the Bible verse line for this part of the message. He has made everything beautiful in its time. That's Ecclesiastes 3:11.